Could Maxx Crosby get traded before the trade deadline? Well, there's been a lot of questions, and I know I talked about it in the last video. There's a lot of people thinking that Maxx Crosby could be on the move. Not because Maxx Crosby wants to move, but because the team has been so bad, and a lot of people feel bad for him, and there's even teams out there interested in acquiring the multiple-time Pro Bowler. But before we do talk about that in today's video, if you guys haven't already and you guys do love Raiders content like this, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. It helps this video a lot and takes a little bit of your time. Now, that being said, I want to talk about Maxx Crosby first and foremost. I know that Maxx Crosby is the heart and soul of this Las Vegas Raiders team. And ever since he's been drafted back in 2019, this team has been through its ups and through its downs, through the many regimes, throughout the many GMs and head coaches, offensive and defensive coordinators, and Maxx Crosby has still stuck to this team, continuing to build on his craft, continuing to be 1% better every single year, every single week. And he's one of the guys that wants to stay on the field if he can. Even if he has a broken leg, he's still going to go out there and give 100%. Now, with all that being said, though, who would have thought that the Raiders would have been as dismantled, as horrible, as embarrassing as they have been these past couple of weeks, especially this season, under a new head coach and a new regime under John Spytek and Pete Carroll. And leading up to week 7, going into the bye week, who could have thought that all of that could have culminated in the Raiders possibly moving on from Maxx Crosby? Again, this is not coming from the Raiders, but according to Trey Wingo, he broke the news earlier today saying that the Cowboys have reached out to Raiders about a potential trade for Maxx Crosby. This would make Dallas an instant Super Bowl contender. Now, I find it kind of funny because, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys just had Micah Parsons, and now that they're looking to go and acquire another star edge rusher, who I think is better than Micah Parsons, don't at me. But of course, seeing that when I woke up this morning, everybody and their mamas are going to talk about it on whether or not the Raiders should do it and will they do it. I think the realistic answer is no. I don't think that the Raiders are going to move on from him. And if they did, I mean, the pot has to be good. It's got to be close to what we got for Khalil Mack. At least 2 first rounds. That's all I'm saying. At least 2 first rounds would have the Raiders thinking about it. But if the Raiders were to do a move like this, that means that you're rebuilding. You're starting all over from ground zero. And that's crazy to hear because in the offseason, we've been preaching that this team is going to compete. I mean, Pete Carroll even stated that we're not in a rebuild year. We're looking to compete right away. And that's not the same sentiments that we heard yesterday at the press conference.
I'm surprised that we're not farther along than we are. I thought we would be. And I anticipated being farther along.
And I'll be honest with you, I thought the same thing, Pete. I thought that we would have been a little bit more competitive, but we aren't. So for me, as bad as this team is, I'm not trading Maxx Crosby away. Why trade the only player that you have on this team that wants to be a Raider? We extended him in the offseason. There's no need for this team to move on from him, because if we move on from Maxx Crosby, what other players do we have that could be the leader of this team? Our quarterback isn't the leader. We can't bank on Brock Bowers, who's barely on the field right now. We can't bank on Ashton Jeanty, who's barely getting into the league right now. We have no leaders on this team offensively and defensively. Heck, Jakobi Meyers, our #1 wide receiver, is 1 foot in, 1 foot out at this point. We have no leaders on this team. And just the thought of moving on from Maxx Crosby is crazy to me. Again, not saying that the Raiders are interested in trading Maxx Crosby away, because we haven't heard that at all, but just the mere thought of it. Because I know that they're listening, and I know that there's a lot of decisions that have to be made behind the scenes, but trading Maxx Crosby should be off the table. What are your thoughts, Raider Nation, on possibly trading Maxx Crosby away? Even the Cowboys looking to trade for him. I know that there's fans out there feeling bad for Maxx Crosby, especially with all the things that have been going on in Las Vegas for the past couple of years. But why are you guys feeling bad? I mean, you guys didn't have that same sentiment for Josh Jacobs when he left. You guys didn't have that same sentiment when Devontae Adams wanted to get traded away. So keep that same energy. I would love for Maxx Crosby to do better, especially on a better team, but he's getting paid to be on the Raiders. And I'm sorry, Oos. You're going to have to stick with us. I mean, through all the ups and through all the downs. And I'm pretty sure Max would say the same exact thing. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He just wants to turn things around with the place that he's at right now. And I know with the Raiders, it's hard to see. It's hard to see the end of the tunnel with this team. Again, let me know your thoughts on this whole situation, Raider Nation, down in the comments below. Now, since we're talking about trades, let's talk about wide receiver Jakobi Meyers, our #1 wide receiver for right now. Of course, there's been a lot of rumors on him being traded away. We've talked about this multiple times. And with the trade line coming up, I know a lot of us wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders moved on from him. I mean, they didn't extend him, and so far, he hasn't been utilized as much as we thought he would, especially as a wide receiver 1. And we know that there's a lot of teams out there that are also interested in acquiring Jakobi Meyers as a wide receiver 2. Now, with that news, he was asked about that whole situation yet again today. According to Ryan McFadden, he tweeted out that Raiders Jakobi Meyers on the trade deadline said, "I got no control over that. If I'm here, I'm here." He was also asked if he would still want to be traded, and he said, "Oh, for sure. But I'm a professional at the end of the day. I'm just trying to play good football." I mean, why wouldn't he feel like that? The team is ass. Our quarterback is ass. Our offensive play calling is ass. He's barely getting the ball out there. So why would he even want to stay with a team that's going down? The ship is starting to sink right now. If he could go anywhere else to get a better opportunity to win more games, I'm sure any player would want to do that. And there's no ties over here with Jakobi Meyers in this new regime, especially with the Raiders. But I will continue to credit Jakobi Meyers for continuing to show up at practice every single day. He was spotted today alongside of Brock Bowers at practice during a bye week, which is kind of crazy to me. But throughout the whole season, he's continued to show up every single game. I know he was out this last game, which a lot of people speculated that he will be traded pretty soon, which I do believe that he'll be traded. I wouldn't want to trade him, but I do believe that he will be traded. It's just crazy to me how far this team has been falling this whole season, and we're just getting to the bye week, and it just seems like the season is over at this point. I mean, we haven't really shown any type of competition throughout any of these games to show that this team can actually be a good team moving forward. And I feel like if the Raiders not only trade Jakobi Meyers away, if they do end up trading Maxx Crosby away, it's going to be a long time till we turn things around. And I know another big thing that a lot of people have been talking about is whether or not the Raiders should fire Pete Carroll and John Spytek. But according to Mark Davis today, when at the fall owners meeting in New York City, he confirmed that he will not fire Pete Carroll, also clarifying that he will trust the process on making the Raiders a better team with Pete Carroll and John Spytek moving forward. He also stated that personnel within the organization tried to apologize to him, and he didn't want to hear any excuses on how terrible the team has been, saying, "I was apologized to by some people in the organization. I told them that I didn't want any apologies. I'm looking for answers." And good for you, Mark. I know that it's been frustrating for Mark Davis even more than Raider fans. I know that we're all frustrated seeing how bad the team has been, but Mark Davis is the guy that's behind the scenes. He's the guy that's been paying all this money to bring people in to help turn this franchise around. And just to continue to see the same product on the field is really frustrating. I know he's feeling it. And I know there's a lot of Raider fans pointing the finger at him, but you guys got to understand that Mark Davis has been trying to turn this organization around. He's been putting his money, his effort into giving the reins to people that could come in and turn things around. But we just haven't been seeing that. And I like the fact that he stated that already, that he's not going to fire Pete Carroll, because I don't think that the Raiders need to, because I've stated this over and over and over again. You can't continue to fire and hire coaches expecting different results when you have no stability in the front office, especially with your head coach and your GM. No matter how the season ends up, we're going to be mad, we're going to be happy, whatever it may be. We move forward with Pete Carroll into the draft and go into another season. I felt like they should have did the same thing with AP, but we didn't. There's no excuses for anything. Just go out there, do your job, and just win, baby. It doesn't matter how we win games, we just want to win. And of course, that starts with our head coach, that starts with our GM, and that starts with our quarterback position as well. Speaking of the quarterback position, I stay on that same notion as yesterday that the Raiders need to bench Geno Smith. And who should be the answer moving forward after that? I don't know. The question's up in the air. I know that the team is hoping for Aiden O'Connell to come back after the bye week. And how crazy is it that Geno Smith has been playing so bad that people are asking for Aiden O'Connell to come back? I know Kenny Pickett is another option, but everybody's looking forward to AOC. I mean, that's really, really sad. So either we go forward with that or probably trade for another veteran quarterback. I don't know. But at this point, we just got to hope for the best. And some other news, the Raiders made some roster moves. According to Raiders PR, they have signed guard Layden Robinson and wide receiver DJ Turner to the practice squad. In a corresponding move, they have released guard McClendon Curtis and safety JT Woods from the practice squad. I mean, biggest name there is DJ Turner. So shout out to DJ Turner. Welcome back to the team. I think at this point, I know the Raiders are going to be looking to fill in some wide receiver spots, especially with Jakobi Meyers possibly on his way out. But with all that being said, Raider Nation, what do you guys think about all the news that came out today? I know that it's going to be a shit show right now, right before the trade deadline. A lot of things can happen, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And until the next video, this your boy, some more Raider, and your boy is, yeah.